What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the very first episode of the new Not Dead podcast. I am one of your hosts, CJ, along with the other host, Dustin. Dustin, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
By God, it's still alive.
We're not dead yet. So this, like I say, is the very first episode of the new Not Dead podcast. It's basically a continuation of the Retro Realm podcast, which I hosted with my friend Chris. He decided that he no longer wanted to be a part of that show, and so I got Dustin here, and we decided to create a whole new show. But we're still going to cover classic pay-per-views, and this week we're going to cover the Royal Rumble 1999, which took place.
No chance in hell.
Yeah, no chance in hell. It took place in Anaheim, California at the Arrowhead Pond Arena. It took place on January 24th, 1999. 14,816 people paid and showed up. 13,597 people ordered it on pay-per-view, and it was a sellout. And, of course, we're going back to 1999. Dustin, what do you remember about 99, bro?
That era right there it's kind of coming to an end for the Attitude Era. There was a lot of things done that shaped and formed the future of what we see as wrestling today.
Absolutely. 1999, there was a whole craze of boy bands and girl groups and all that good kind of stuff. Boy bands and pop singers, and of course 1999 was also the declining of WCW, which we got to talk about. I'm not saying it was the death year for WCW, but it definitely went downhill in 1999. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, they definitely were on life support in 99.
Yes. Yeah, I would say they were on life support in 1998.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we had cell phones that were portable like they are today, then we probably would have unplugged the life support to plug in our phones.
So, I know what you guys are all thinking probably. Why are we starting off with the Royal Rumble 1999? Well, because we're going to do a little series over the next couple of weeks. So this week we'll do Royal Rumble 1999. Next week we'll do the pay-per-view after, which was St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Your House. And we'll do this all leads up to WrestleMania 15, which we'll do in 2 weeks. Now again, this is Royal Rumble 99, and let's talk about some of these matches. On Sunday Night Heat, you had Jeff. Wait, whoa. Hang on a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm lost for a second. Hang on.
Sunday Night Heat was when they were doing a lot of the build-up, trying to gain more attention for the. They were trying to sell more of the Royal Rumble, and it's where, if you remember, they actually had a pivotal part in Sunday Night Heat that played a huge role into the Royal Rumble, one of the matches.
Yeah, I do remember that. Wasn't
Mankind the feel-good story of Mankind? He was no longer the dark, demented Mankind. Right. He was more of the lovable, squeezable teddy bear that everybody looked at.
With the sock, yeah.
It was actually shown, the build-up to this was actually, they thought that Vince McMahon was actually setting Mankind up to be the corporate guy when it actually had the big swerve, and it was the corporate Rock.
They did a Montreal screw job 2 years in a row.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, Survivor Series 97 and 98. Yeah, and with the same move. I mean, same everything. Except different wrestlers. Same everything else. So, in the dark match...
they had Mankind actually faced Mabel in a singles match on Sunday Night Heat to a disqualification
Yeah.
And that was to help build up where he had the interview with him, and that's where he told The Rock that he would scream the words, I quit, I quit, I quit.
Yeah, we'll get to that match in a minute. The dark match saw Christian defeat Jeff Hardy, and then in one of the two heat matches, you just spoke about Mankind versus Mabel, and I'm sure that was just an instant classic.
That was an instant classic of 5 minutes of time wasted.
The Job Squad, Bob Holly and Scorpio, defeated Too Much, Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor. Too Much would be later known as Too Cool, and Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor would be known as Scotty Too Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay, and they'd be joined by Rikishi.
This was a turning point for a lot of these competitors.
Yeah.
In that era of that time.
Yep.
You got, like you said, with Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor, they were actually in the process of pretty much throwing anything at the wall and seeing what stuck. And this is actually in the transition of when they went to the Grandmaster Sexy and Scotty Too Hottie, and then that, everybody knows it blossomed from there when Rikishi joined in.
Too Cool, man. What an underrated group that was. In my opinion, that was an underrated group. What do you think?
Wrestling-wise, I think they were rated very fairly. Comedic-wise, I think they were underrated. And see, in that time, there was a lot of comedic value added to a lot of wrestling. I think that was the part where you could actually see where Vince McMahon knew he had no longer had the competition in WCW anymore, so he was more laid back and had more of the comedic style. I mean, you had think about it, the Job Squad, then you had the gang warfares of '97, that led him into later on, and then now they're just all fun and games. So you had someone like, Rikishi, big 500-pound guy wearing a song, basically shaking around. I mean, that was comedic. It was getting more towards the entertainment style than it was the actual wrestling.
And
although there were some matches on this card that actually made people cringe very, very hard.
Yeah, I was just looking at this card, and oh my goodness gracious. So, to open the show, Big Boss Man defeated the Road Dogg.
That was a solid match.
I'm sure, because Big Boss Man and Road Dogg are not... I'm sorry?
I think they went just under 12 minutes.
11 minutes, 52 seconds.
Match. The Boss Man, he was in the corporate, and that was when it was the corporation.
Yeah, corporate versus
DX going at it.
And then they called it like the corporate Royal Rumble, didn't they?
Yeah, it pretty much ended up being, the 99 Royal Rumble pretty much ended up being a card solely on pushing the Vince McMahon Stone Cold rivalry.
Yeah. So Big Boss Man defeated the Road Dogg. Ken Shamrock defeated Billy Gunn by submission for the Intercontinental Championship to retain the title. That was also a very solid match, if I remember correctly.
I think it was one of Billy Gunn's better matches that he had. I mean, that one, keep in mind, that one went for a little over 14 minutes. I mean, that one, if you think about it, Ken Shamrock was more of a brawler anyways.
Yeah, he was a submission guy / brawler. He was like a UFC guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had made his name in UFC, and it was doing the crossover. That was when they were starting to get pretty, I guess you'd say, risque, personal, because if you remember, what started this whole feud was when I think her name was Ryan Shamrock, which is Ken Shamrock's real life sister.
Yeah,
and that was when they had a stint where they had Val Venus, going after her. Then you had Billy Gunn mooning her, and he was fighting her to take, up for her, and that used that World's Dangerous Man where he could just snap at any given time. And I think they kind of overplayed that whole Ryan Shamrock angle that it kind of got worked out. But the match itself, I think, was pretty solid. Billy Gunn, for a singles competitor, I'm not a big fan of, because I don't think
he was always a better tag wrestler. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
And I don't think he could actually carry a solid match on his own until I saw this one. And it made me change my opinion on it a little bit. Not completely, but a little bit. Yeah. And, of course, Ken Shamrock, he's not known for his long matches. He's known for getting in there, getting down and dirty, and then getting out. So for them to push off a 15-minute match was actually pretty solid. And I'd have to give that probably a 7 out of 10.
And by the way, Ryan Shamrock is not related to Ken Shamrock. I did some research on that.
It ended up, it was a fake. And see, that was the thing, was they were actually really believable back then.
Yeah.
And because you got to keep in mind, they were still in that area of blurring the line of real life and fiction.
Yes. Yeah, they were in 99. Yeah, they were. 99 was a very weird year in professional wrestling, especially in WWE, because they didn't. There was a period of time where they didn't have really heels and baby faces. Everybody just kind of fought everybody.
Well, that's where Stone Cold was. I mean, he was supposed to be the heel, but he ended up becoming the Antichrist hero.
Yeah, the anti-hero, yeah.
Yeah, it was the new guy that he was like, all your common folk are like, I'd like to kick my boss's ass, so they vicariously lived through Stone Cold, who kicked his boss's ass.
I want to kick my boss's ass and drink a couple beers, yeah.
Yeah.
And pour it all over.
That's what he did.
Right. Back to the card. Sorry, that was a little side note on Ryan Shamrock.
And there's a lot of championships going on in this match too. I mean, that was one of them. Then you have your next one, which was X-Pac and Gangrel for the European. See, and I think that was the time too. I mean, they were pretty much just throwing titles everywhere at that point.
Gangrel, I'm going to say this right now. Gangrel is severely underrated.
Oh yeah.
He should have been. He should have at least been Intercontinental Champion in WWE. I don't think he held a single title belt in WWE, did he?
To my knowledge, I don't want to swear to it, but I think maybe he had the hardcore at one time.
But I'm looking at all his accolades, and I'm not seeing anything on WWE. So
yeah, and he was also credited for the Christian Edge,
for the Brood.
The Brood. That I think that actually got stifled pretty quickly, and I think that actually could have been drawn out further and actually had better. But that was when the ministry and all that was going around too, so that kind of molded all of it and absorbed it all, and it just became. That was the problem with the gang war factions that WWE had at that time, was that it ended up being, instead of having a bunch of random, factions, it was this group of factions tagged to take over the evil corporation.
Yeah.
And I think you lost a lot of factions, got, shuffled around and overlooked in that time that I think they could have. I think the Brood could have been pushed to the moon.
They could have. They really could have. And I'm looking at Gangrel's championship accomplishments here. Wow. I mean, he never held a belt in WWE, but held a belt pretty much everywhere else he wrestled.
Yeah.
APW Tag Team Champion, the AWF International Junior Heavyweight Champion, All-Star Wrestler. I mean, this guy did a lot. Wow. Damn. Oh, and he's still wrestling, and he is currently the he's currently the WCWC, yes, that's actually a wrestling promotion, Legacy Champion. So, shout out to Gangrel. Yeah, it sounds like he's doing good. So, shout out to that. Shout out to him.
Because I remember back in that time frame, I was a little bit younger too. So of course, that was cool to see him coming out drinking, his enemy's blood. And it was,
yeah, I was.
That's what's wrong with the world. There's not enough people drinking from the skulls of their enemies, and Gangrel was the embodiment of that.
Hey, by the way, this is a side note here. We'll go off on a lot of side notes on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear about Netflix's newest movie?
Not recently. What is it?
It's called Blood Red Sky. And when I read you the synopsis of what this movie is about, you'll be like, oh my god, I have to see this. It is basically an airplane gets hijacked by a group of terrorists, and a vampire on the plane has to stop them.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real winner.
I'd probably rather watch David Arquette win the WCW World Heavyweight Champion than watch that.
Shit, I'd rather watch Vince Russo win the world title.
Yeah, even better that. Yeah. Getting back on the card there, the next match, really another title match. There was 4 title matches actually.
In a row.
In a row, which is very odd. And
it was,
but this one was where they were over sexualizing women at that time
yeah.
too, and it was kind of coming down to an end.
Sable,
Sable was the champion.
She had no talent whatsoever, but
no,
all she had was looks, which were fake.
And at that point, Vince McMahon was selling sex like it was hotcakes.
Oh yeah, 1989 was all about sex.
Yeah, and you had Luna Vachon. I mean, she was. If people remember back in like the early '90s, when
she was a badass. Yeah, she fought women like Medusa. She was a badass there.
Later on in '99, when you got her, she's coming out in, the skimpiest of clothes, and it's almost like watching Mae Young come out in a striptease. And I'm like, this just...
That's an image I did not need in my head, by the way, so thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. But, and that was the thing, was like, I think what they did is they caused problems. I mean, I get it, sex sells, and they sold the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But I think also that was overshadowing the actual talent of some of these women, ladies, whatever you want, that could actually wrestle. And, they would push people like Sable, who, let's be honest, couldn't wrestle out of a wet paper bag.
Facts.
I may get in trouble for this, and I may have Brock Lesnar trying to beat my door down to whoop my ass, but she was completely terrible. Like, she was horrible.
She was not good at all.
No, I mean, even being a valet when she was with Marvelous Mark Merrow earlier in the 90s.
Even her sexy dance was terrible.
Terrible, I mean, yeah. Like, just to sum Sable up, was she should have never been on TV.
Facts. That being said, she defeated Luna Vachon in a strap match to retain the women's championship. Probably the lowest point of that women's title.
Yeah. And that was a 4-minute, almost 5-minute match that probably should have never made it even on Sunday Night Heat.
Facts. The Rock. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Rock.
Yeah, this match here.
This match made up for that last match.
Oh, yeah. It was a 21, almost 22-minute match. And this match, I will strongly stand on this hill and die and say that this match changed the way wrestling went forward with a lot of stuff, especially the chair shots. Oh. My God, the chair shots.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Shoot.
Oh, I'm going to shoot. People act so appalled nowadays at the chair shots. to the skull in this match. People were like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. That's so vicious. That was so gross. That was so disgusting. They shouldn't have done that. And da da da. Hindsight is 2020. It's easy to look back and say that they shouldn't have done that. But back then, in that moment, they were telling a story. The story was that Mankind, no matter how many chair shots he took, he wasn't going to say, I quit. He wasn't going to give up. He wasn't going to surrender to The Rock.
Remember,
he was being triumphant. And so when people act all holier than thou about the chair shots, shut up. Okay? Just shut up. All right?
Well,
yeah, the chair shots were brutal.
Time. That was a different time, and that's what I always say when people nowadays, the internet wrestling community, are all like, oh man, we want the Attitude Era back. The Attitude Era would never work in this generation.
No.
Never.
No, not in a sensitive-ass world that we live in today.
Case in point, I mean, look at some of the things that, and I think this is where WWE trolls the universe, is, they'll put out some kind of attitude-ish era type spills out there, and then people will lose their mind. And like, I can't believe they did this. Yeah. I can't believe it. And it's like, see, that's why the Attitude Era would never make it here. So stop begging for it back, especially this match. And if you remember the movie Beyond the Mat, they actually had full access to this pay-per-view card because that was a big highlight, was this match.
Right.
And doing some research on it, I actually stumbled across some stuff that, with The Rock and Mankind are well-known friends and pretty close people, but there for a little bit after the match, there was some bad blood between the two.
I'm sure that there was. Because I think Rock did take it a little too far with the chair shots.
Well, see, they were scheduled for only 5.
Yeah, and The Rock just kept going and going and going.
11 chair shots. 11 chair shots later, and the fact that he was handcuffed, that Mankind was handcuffed too,
and his kids were there.
A lot of it. Yeah, his family, his wife actually had to take their kids and leave their seats because of it.
Yeah,
and the fact is, he was handcuffed, so he couldn't really absorb any of the shots due to the fact of him being handcuffed, and that was the issue with it. That if you were able to absorb some of the shots with your hand, that it wouldn't. I won't say it would lessen the impact, but it would make it more sustainable.
Right.
To where, I mean, he's taking them straight to the dome, and that was the thing with that era, was it was like you would get such a huge crowd pop for somebody getting smacked across the face with a chair. Like nowadays, you see them smacking them 5, 6, 7 times on the back, and people's like, yeah, okay, cool, he hit him with a chair. Yeah. But back then, man, you'd catch one time in a chair to the face, and people would absolutely go ape shit.
I'm kind of glad they stopped doing the chair shots to the skull, to be honest. Not because of a concussion thing or nothing like that, but just I just don't need to see a chair shot to the head. It you know what I mean? It's not.
Well,
I mean, okay.
To each their own, because I mean, if you ask me, I like seeing a chair just folded across somebody's face.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Let's say you and me are in a street fight, and there's a steel chair. You pick it up. Is the first thing that pops in your mind going to be, I got the steel chair, let me bash this guy's head in? No, you're going to hit them wherever you can hit them. It's,
I mean, if I pick up a chair, the first, obviously, if I'm in a street fight and I pick up a chair, I'm looking to do as much damage with that chair as possible. So
it doesn't matter where you hit the guy. Yeah.
I'm folding that chair across your face. And to me, and that was the thing, was that, like, just to see those chairs, and that's what a lot of people for the longest time, them chairs are gimmicked. No, them chairs are real.
That's real steel. Yeah.
Yeah, like and they explain it to you. There's a certain way to take a chair shot,
and
which take a chair shot to the face and the head. Yeah, taking a chair shot to the face and the head, there's no easy way to take that. But like they say, there's a certain way you lay it and there's a certain way you smack it on their back that it lessens the impact on the person taking the chair shot. But when you take 11 chair shots, I don't care if you're God himself, you take 11 chair shots to the face, to the head,
it's gonna hurt.
You're not gonna fucking see straight for a while. And that was part of the issue, was that they actually, he had to get stitches and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And they said he was actually pissed off at The Rock because he says The Rock never came and checked on him afterwards for a while. And so that kind of brewed up some bad blood between them.
Yeah.
And
kind of like when Booker T injured Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001, and Booker T didn't say something to Stone Cold immediately afterwards.
Yeah, and to me, I'm like, okay, that can kind of be seen as pettiness because, you got to think about it. The Rock just, he retained the championship.
Yeah.
Or he took the championship away from him, and that was one of his first couple of title reigns, and I'm sure he had some things going on in the heat of the moment. Then he had all this press and everything back there. He probably could have made it back there if he really put an effort to it. But I mean, did he really need to push it that far? I don't think so.
No.
But
hey, question:
it sold a great show. It sold a great story, though. I mean, regardless of the outcome, it sold the story like crazy. And that's where when he said that on Sunday Night Heat came out, like, and looking back at it now, I think they probably did that. They probably had some kind of thought of using that, anyways. But I think they did that because, for one, Mankind wasn't going to quit regardless. And two, right. I don't think he could have quit even if he wanted to because he was he was out of
it. He got knocked loopy with those chair shots.
Yeah, he didn't know left from right at that time.
He didn't know up from down.
Kind of like, yeah, okay, he's down. He takes one more chair shot. Okay, hit the play button, play that thing, and let's get this match over with.
Yeah. And then, so The Rock retains the championship. In 21 minutes, 46 seconds. The question I have for you, which match did you think was better, this match or their halftime Heat match?
Well, the halftime Heat match was a really good one. I think what killed it was the no fans.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
To me, and this is another one of those opinionated statements, is... To me, the fans actually sell the wrestling matches. The Thunderdome here passed recently, of course, whatever with COVID and this, that, and the other, I'm not getting off on that, but the Thunderdome, to me, with no fans there, just really...
The Thunderdome, hey.
Made it unbearable for me to watch, like, with no fans, and it was like... Yeah.
Hey, the Thunderdome, it was a cool concept. But the problem is, they had too many piped-in noises, and they had too many rules and regulations on the people on the computers.
Well, you have to, and there I can actually stand for them and say, you really, that was kind of an area that, I mean, you had to have those rules and regulations because there was even with those rules and regulations, there were still people trying to. And I guess that's just the world we live in today. Is that's the new photo bomb, I guess.
Yeah.
But to me, the fans is what really sells it. And when they pipe over the fans, it kind of ruins it. And back in that time, in the 90s, late and early 90s, I'm sure there probably was a little bit of piped noise in, but to me, it was more raw.
It wasn't as noticeable back in the day.
Yeah, and like the Royal Rumble, that match, I mean, you not only see the visible, oh my God, look on people's faces, but like there was like an eerie hush over the crowd when all this was going on.
Yeah. And in the main event of the evening, Mr. McMahon won a 30-man Royal Rumble match, call it the Corporate Royal Rumble match, for a WWF Championship match at WrestleMania 15. We'll get there in a couple of weeks. And also in the Royal Rumble, these entrances are as follows. Entering first is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Lasted the match for 56 minutes and 38 seconds. Mr. McMahon was entrance number 2. Once again, he was also in there for 56 minutes and 38 seconds. Golga was number 3, and he lasted all of 15 seconds before being eliminated by Stone Cold. Droz was next at number 4, and he got eliminated by Mabel. He's lasted 12 minutes and 30 seconds. That's actually impressive. I thought he would last like 3 minutes, but 12 minutes, okay. Edge was number 5, and he was eliminated by the Road Dogg. He was in the match for 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Gilbert. Yeah, Gilbert. Best gimmick ever. Gilbert was number 6. He was eliminated by Edge in 6 seconds.
I still think they need to have a Gilbert versus Goldberg match.
Yes, they do. Yes. Steve Blackman was number 7. He lasted the match. He was in the match for 7 minutes and 22 seconds. And he was eliminated by Mabel. Dan Severn was next. 5 minutes and 43 seconds he lasted. And again, he was eliminated. He was eliminated by Mabel.
Mabel went on a run streak there for a little bit with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Tiger Ali Singh, 4 minutes 42 seconds, eliminated by Mabel. The Blue Meanie was number 9. So Tiger Ali Singh was number 8. Number 9. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I screwed up the numbers. Number 8 was Dan Severn. Number 9 was Tiger Ali Singh. And number 10 was the Blue Meanie. Blue Meanie lasted all of
3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes, and again, eliminated by Mabel. Finally, Mabel comes out at number 11, and he is eliminated by Bradshaw, Farouk, and Midian after 1 minute and 26 seconds in the match.
That's where they took him and turned Mabel into Viscera.
Yes, it is. The Road Dogg is next at number 12. Lasts 10 minutes and 41 seconds before being eliminated by Kane. Gangrel's next at number 13. Lasts all of 26 seconds before being eliminated by the Road Dogg. Kurrigan is next at number 14 before being eliminated by Kane. He was in the match.
Kane and the Road Dogg were taking their turns, alternating who was eliminating who.
Oh, okay. That's why this makes sense. Okay. Kurrigan lasted 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Al Snow is next to number 15. He's eliminated by the Road Dogg. He lasted 47 seconds in the match, almost a full minute. Goldust is next at number 16. He lasts 4 minutes and 2 seconds before being eliminated by Kane. Godfather's next at number 17. He lasts 1 minute and 40 seconds before being eliminated by Kane as well. Kane is eliminated next. Kane is out at 18. He eliminates himself in 53 seconds. Okay.
He was He was the 18th entrant, but the 16th person eliminated.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon running wild through the entire arena at this time.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Oh, they were brought. Yes, you did. Billy Gunn is next. I'm sorry. I'm speeding here. Number 19 is Ken Shamrock, and he is eliminated by Stone Cold Steve Austin after 4 minutes and 50 seconds in the match. Billy Gunn is out at number 20. He also is eliminated by Stone Cold. He lasts 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Test is out next at number 21, and he's eliminated by Stone Cold.
And the 19th, he was the 19th person eliminated.
Yes. You're getting all... yes, you're right. And I'm sorry, I got flustered there for a second. Number 22 is Big Boss Man, And he's eliminated in 18 minutes and 53 seconds by, you guessed it, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And let's keep in mind, Big Boss Man had the match beforehand as well, but he came in at 22, but he was the 28th person eliminated. He almost made it.
Yeah, almost. Triple H is next at number 23. He lasts all of 14 minutes and 21 seconds before being eliminated by Stone Cold. Number 24 is Val Venus, and he lasts 12 minutes 41 seconds before being eliminated by Triple H. X-Pac is next at number 25. He's eliminated by the Big Boss Man. He was in the match for 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Mark Henry is out next at number 26, and he's eliminated by China in 7 minutes and 57 seconds.
And we also need to make mention of this as well. This was the first Royal Rumble where a woman
entered.
And she was the 30th entrant because if you remember, you had Shawn Michaels was playing commissioner at that time, and Vince McMahon tried to sabotage this Royal Rumble to where he was the 30th entrant.
Yeah.
And Chyna actually won a match. I believe it was either on Raw the week before, or it might have been on Sunday Night Heat, where she won it, so therefore she was the 30th entrant.
Yes. Number 26 is Mark. Oh, wait, I already said that. Sorry. Number 27 is Jeff Jarrett. He lasts 3 minutes and 39 seconds before being eliminated by Triple H. He was the 21st elimination. D'Lo Brown was next at number 28, and he was eliminated by the Big Boss Man. He was in the match for 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Owen Hart was next at number 29, and he was eliminated by Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was in the match for 6 minutes and 31 seconds. And then, as you mentioned, Chyna was next at number 30, the final entrant, and she lasted 35 seconds before being eliminated by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 11, now here's a little side note here. Number 11 was supposed to be Headbanger Mosh, but he was attacked and replaced by Mabel on his way to the ring. So there you go. And also, Mideon, Farouk, and Bradshaw were not official entrants in the match. So there you go.
And then if you go through the eliminations, you had Chyna also making more history, not only entering the Royal Rumble, but also having an elimination. She had one. You have Triple H and Big Boss Man both with 2. This is where Kane started setting his records up, where he had 4 eliminations. And if you notice, I believe he still holds that record, too, with the most Royal Rumble eliminations. You've got Road Dogg had 3, Mabel had 5, 1 for Edge, and 8 for Stone Cold Steve Austin. But the one that counted the most was McMahon with only 1 elimination.
That's the only one that counts.
That's it.
That's the winning elimination that counts. All the other eliminations, they don't mean much.
Pretty much.
It's just all the other eliminations. You're just what is the word I'm looking for? It's not dwindling. It's I can't think of the word. Damn it. Whatever. The rest of the eliminations, you're just decreasing the talent pool in the ring. There you go.
That's it. You're just helping the winner.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, was the Royal Rumble 1999. Overall, show was meh. What did you think of the show?
I was really invested in the Stone Cold Steve Austin McMahon feud.
That's the first feud I actually remember as a wrestling fan. I started watching in 97 when I was 4 years old. I'm 28 now. And I still watch. I was 6 years old when this I was actually technically when this pay-per-view took off. I was technically still 5 years old. My birthday wasn't a month. It wasn't till a month later. So I was technically still 5 years old, and yeah, that's the feud I remember the most is Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon. That's and The Rock.
Oh yeah,
That
I was fully vested in the McMahon Austin rivalry at this time. That it was that anytime something was on, it was like I had to see it because I had to see what was going on because it was the whole anti-hero type thing. And
well, we'll talk all about Mr. McMahon versus Stone Cold when we get to WrestleMania 15. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There's the very first episode of the new Not Dead podcast. Next week, we're going to review St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1999. So be sure to tune in next week. Hey, hit that subscribe button down below if you're not already subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload new content. We upload new content weekly. Also, leave a comment down below which show you want us to review.
Rikishi gives you a stink face.
Yes. If you don't, then Rikishi will give you a stink face. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Also, leave a comment down below what pay-per-view or what classic show you want us to review next, be it from WWE, WCW, TNA. If we can find it, we'll review it. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is CJ, and this is Dustin. We're signing out of here. See you, everybody.
Out.